Welcome to the Parkrun Brief, the weekly parkrun training podcast where I break down what we've published this week on www.parkruntraining.co.nz and turn it into practical coaching advice you can use this Saturday. On the Sunday reset, the subtle signs your fitness is improving, even if your time isn't. One of the hardest parts of being a runner is that fitness doesn't always show up on the stopwatch straight away. You train consistently, you complete your runs, you turn up to parkrun week after week, yet the finish time stays stubbornly similar. It's easy to assume nothing is changing, but fitness really develops in a straight line. More often it appears in subtle ways long before it appears in your results. And if you only measure progress by your finish time, you'll miss many of the signs you're actually improving. Sunday is the perfect time to look beyond the clock and recognize the progress that's already happening. Your easy pace feels easier. One of the first signs of improving fitness is that familiar runs start feeling less demanding. The route hasn't changed, the distance hasn't changed, but your breathing feels calmer. Your legs feel more relaxed. You finish feeling fresher. Many runners overlook this because they're focused on speed, but easier running at the same effort is often one of the clearest indicators that your aerobic fitness is improving. You recover faster after hard efforts. Think back to the challenging runs a few months ago. How did you feel the next day? If you're now recovering more quickly from the same efforts, that's progress. Improved fitness doesn't just help you run faster, it helps you bounce back faster too. When your body adapts well to training, soreness reduces, recovery improves, and you can return to quality running sooner. Your final kilometre is less of a battle. A common sign of improving fitness is not necessarily running faster, it's slowing down less. Perhaps your parkrun times haven't changed dramatically, but you are finishing stronger. You're holding your form better. You're maintaining your pace longer. You're no longer feeling like you're hanging on for survival during the final kilometre. Those are meaningful improvements, and they are often the first signs of future personal bests. Your confidence is growing. Fitness isn't purely physical. Mental fitness develops too. You might notice less anxiety before parkrun, more confidence during harder efforts, greater belief in your ability to finish strongly, or more patience with pacing. These changes are easy to dismiss, but they matter. Confidence allows you to use your fitness more efficiently, and that often leads to better performances later. You handle hills better. Many runners notice improvements on hills before they notice them on flat sections. Perhaps you're no longer slowing as dramatically. Maybe you're recovering more quickly once you reach the top. Or perhaps you're approaching hills with confidence instead of dread. These changes indicate stronger aerobic fitness and improved running economy. Both are valuable indicators of progress. You can train more consistently. One of the strongest signs of improving fitness is your ability to string together weeks of training. When fitness improves, small niggles become less common. Recovery improves, workouts feel more manageable, and consistency becomes easier. This creates a positive cycle. More consistency leads to more fitness. More fitness supports more consistency. Your heart rate stays lower at familiar efforts. For runners who monitor heart rate, this is often one of the clearest signs of progress. A pace that previously pushed your heart rate higher now feels more comfortable. The same effort requires less strain. Your body is becoming more efficient. That's exactly what training is designed to achieve. You are enjoying running more. This one might be the most important of all. As fitness improves, running often becomes more enjoyable, not because every run feels easy, but because you feel more capable, more in control, more confident. You spend less time fighting the run and more time experiencing it. This is a powerful sign that your training is working. The problem with chasing instant results. Fitness often develops beneath the surface before it becomes visible in performance. The body is making adaptations. The aerobic system is improving. Your endurance is growing. But race day conditions, weather, Pacing, fatigue, and countless other factors can temporarily hide those gains. That's why judging progress based on a single result can be misleading. The bigger picture usually tells a different story. Your Sunday reset. Before you review your latest parkrun result, ask yourself, did the run feel easier? Did I finish stronger? Did I recover faster? Am I training more consistently? Do I feel more confident? Because progress isn't always measured in seconds. Sometimes it's measured in how you feel, and often those subtle improvements are the first signs that a breakthrough is closer than you think. Keep showing up, keep training consistently, and trust that fitness is developing even when the stopwatch hasn't caught up yet. For the Saturday Spark, how to break through a parkrun plateau. You've been turning up every Saturday. You've been training consistently. You're putting in the work. Yet your parkrun time refuses to budge. If that sounds familiar, don't worry. You've probably reached one of the most common stages in running, a plateau. Every runner experiences them, from first-time parkrunners to seasoned veterans. The important thing is understanding that a plateau isn't the end of your progress. It's simply a sign that your body has adapted to what you're asking of it. The good news, plateaus can be broken. Why plateaus happen? Your body is incredibly good at adapting. The sessions that challenged you 3 months ago might now feel routine. That's a sign you've become fitter, but it also means your current training may no longer be providing enough stimulus for further development. Common reasons runners plateau include repeating the same workout every week, running every session at a similar pace, making easy runs too hard, not allowing enough recovery, racing parkrun every Saturday without a clear purpose. None of these are signs of failure. They're simply opportunities to train smarter. Stop trying to fix everything. One of the biggest mistakes runners make after a disappointing parkrun is changing everything. They increase their mileage, add extra interval sessions, run harder on easier days, try to complete a new training plan. Usually, that's exactly the wrong approach. Instead, ask yourself, what's the one thing that will make the biggest difference? Small, consistent improvements almost always outperform dramatic changes. Build a stronger aerobic foundation. In my coaching, the long run at level 2 remains the most important session of the week. It underpins everything. Whether you're aiming to break 35 minutes, 30 minutes, 25 minutes, or 20 minutes, a stronger aerobic base allows you to recover better, maintain pace for longer, finish stronger, and handle quality sessions more effectively. Many runners chase speed when they really need is a bigger aerobic engine. Make your quality session count. If you're only doing one quality session each week, make it purposeful. Rather than simply running hard, choose sessions that target a specific adaptation. For example, threshold running to improve sustainable pace, hill repetitions to develop strength, or intervals to build speed and running economy. Quality beats quantity every time. Use parkrun as a training tool. Not every parkrun should be an all-out race. Some weeks use it to practice even pacing, negative splits, holding level 4 effort, or finishing strongly. Ironically, runners who stop chasing a PB every Saturday often achieve more PBs over the course of a year. Train with purpose, race with confidence. Be patient with the process. The hardest part about breaking a plateau is that progress isn't always immediate. Fitness builds gradually. Some weeks you'll feel like nothing is changing. Then one Saturday, everything clicks. That's why consistency matters more than perfection. Keep showing up. Keep following the plan. Keep trusting the process. Saturday Spark takeaway. If you're stuck at the same parkrun time, don't assume you've reached your limit. Instead, build your aerobic base with regular long runs at level 2. Make your weekly quality session purposeful. Use parkrun as part of your training, not just a weekly race. And be patient and stay consistent. Plateaus aren't roadblocks. They're simply the point where smarter training begins. your next breakthrough may be much closer than you think. For the Friday fast track, boost your 5K performance with tempo runs. Tempo running is one of the most valuable ways to improve your 5K performance. It develops the aerobic strength needed to hold a challenging pace while teaching you to stay relaxed under pressure. This Friday fast track session extends that steady effort to 16 minutes, giving you plenty of time to settle into a rhythm and build the fitness that translates directly into stronger, more consistent park runs. Today's workout, warm up, 10 minutes at level 2, easy, relaxed running. Main set, 16 minutes at level 3, tempo effort. Cool down, 10 minutes at level 2. Post run, 10 minutes of gentle stretching. Why this works for parkrun. A sustained tempo effort teaches you how to run efficiently at a pace that's comfortably hard. Rather than relying on bursts of speed, you may learn to maintain a smooth, consistent effort for an extended period. For parkrunners, this session helps you build aerobic endurance, improve pacing discipline, develop sustained running rhythm, increase confidence at stronger efforts, and delay the onset of fatigue during longer efforts. Over time, sessions like this make holding a faster pace feel increasingly natural. How it should feel. Controlled from the first minute to the last. Breathing is elevated but remains rhythmic. You can speak a few words but not hold a conversation. And the final few minutes require concentration but not desperation. You should finish the effort feeling like you've worked hard while still maintaining good running form throughout. My tip, break the run into 4-minute sections. Instead of thinking it's about the full 16 minutes, simply focus on maintaining smooth, relaxed running through each segment. Small mental checkpoints make longer tempo efforts feel much more manageable and help you maintain concentration from start to finish. Want to finish your next parkrun feeling stronger and more in control? Grab my free guide, Stronger for Parkrun, a quick routine to finish your 5K better. The link is in the description of this video. It's a simple, effective strength session you can add after any run, including today's Friday fast track workout. Smart goals for parkrunners. How to turn good intentions into faster Saturdays. Every week, thousands of parkrunners line up with a goal in mind. Some want to break a time barrier. Some want to complete their first parkrun without walking. Some want to improve their fitness. Others simply want to get back into a regular running routine. The problem is that many parkrunners have goals, but they don't have a plan. I want to run faster. I want to get fitter. I want a PB. Those aren't really goals, they're wishes. A good goal should help guide your training, your pacing, and your weekly habits. It should give you something to work towards and help you stay focused while motivation starts to fade. That's where SMART goals come in. SMART goals provide a simple framework that can help any parkrunner turn a vague ambition into a practical plan. What are SMART goals? SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable/attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Let's look at how each part applies to parkrun. S for specific. The more specific your goal, the easier it becomes to achieve. Compare these two goals. Goal A, I want to get faster. Goal B, I want to break 30 minutes at parkrun. The second goal is much clearer. You know exactly what you're trying to achieve. Examples of specific parkrun goals include completing my first parkrun, run my first parkrun without walking, break 35 minutes, break 30 minutes, break 25 minutes, achieve a new PB/PR, attend 25 parkruns this year, or reach my 50th parkrun milestone. Specific goals create direction. M is for measurable. A goal needs to be measurable so you know whether you're making progress. One of the great things about parkrun is that it naturally provides measurable data every week. You can track finish times, pace, attendance, age grading, number of parkruns completed, and consistency of participation. For example, instead of saying, I want to improve my fitness, you could say, I want to improve my parkrun time from 32 minutes to under 30. Instead of, I want to run more, you could say, I want to complete 40 parkruns this year. Now you have something you can measure. A equals achievable. This is where many parkrunners get into trouble. Goals should challenge you. They shouldn't discourage you. If your current PB/PR is 34 minutes flat, setting a goal of running under 20 minutes in the next 3 months probably isn't realistic. That doesn't mean you'll never run 20 minutes. It simply means the goal isn't achievable in that time frame. A better goal might be current PB/PR 34 minutes flat, goal sub 32 minutes within 12 weeks. Or a current PB/PR 26:30, goal sub 25 by the end of next year. The best goals sit just outside your comfort zone. They're challenging enough to inspire effort, but realistic enough to maintain motivation. R equals relevant. The goal has to matter to you, not your running buddy, not your spouse, not your coach, not the person who finishes ahead of you every Saturday, you. For some people, a PB is the goal. For others, consistency is more important. You might be returning from injury. You might be using parkrun to improve your health. You might simply enjoy the social side of Saturday mornings. All of those are perfectly valid reasons to participate. The important thing is that your goal reflects what matters to you. T is for time bound. A goal needs a deadline. Without a time frame, it's easy to keep putting things off. Compare these two statements. I want to break 30 minutes. I want to break 30 minutes before Christmas. The second goal creates urgency, gives your training purpose. It allows you to work backwards and create a plan. Turning a wish into a SMART goal. Let's take a common example, the wish. I want to PB. Specific, I want to run faster at parkrun. Measurable, I want to break 25 minutes. Achievable/attainable, my current PB/PR is 25:50. Relevant, I enjoy improving my running and challenging myself. Time bound, I want to achieve this within the next 12 weeks. The SMART goal, I want to improve my parkrun PB from 25:50 to under 25 minutes within the next 12 weeks. That's a goal you can build a training plan around. Examples of SMART goals for different parkrunners. The new parkrunner, I will complete my first parkrun within the next month. The run walker, I will complete a full parkrun without walking by the end of the next 8 weeks. The consistent parkrunner, I will attend at least 40 parkruns this year. The sub 30 chaser, I will reduce my parkrun PB from 31:15 to under 30 minutes before Christmas. The sub 25 chaser, I will improve my PB from 25:20 to under 25 minutes within the next 3 months. The milestone collector, I will reach my 50th parkrun milestone by the end of the year. The secret most parkrunners miss. The most successful parkrunners don't just set outcome goals, they also set process goals. Outcome goals are things like breaking 30 minutes, running a PB/PR, reaching a milestone shirt. Process goals are the habits that make those outcomes possible. Examples include run 3 times per week, complete 1 threshold workout each week, strength train twice weekly, arrive early enough to complete a proper warm-up, go to bed earlier on Friday nights. You can't completely control whether you achieve a PB on a particular Saturday. You can control whether you complete your training during the week. Focus on the process and the outcomes often take care of themselves. Bronze, silver, and gold goals. One of my favorite approaches is to create 3 levels of success. Bronze goal, the minimum result you'd still be happy with. Silver goal, the result you realistically expect. And the gold goal, the dream outcome if everything goes perfectly. For example, parkrun goal, bronze, under 26 minutes, silver, under 25:30, gold, under 25 flat. This approach removes some pressure while still encouraging ambition. What if you miss your goal? Many runners see missed goals as failure. I don't. Goals are there to provide direction. Sometimes life gets busy. Sometimes illness interrupts training. Sometimes weather conditions aren't ideal. Sometimes the course is muddy. Even if you don't hit the exact number you wanted, you may still become fitter, stronger, healthier, and more consistent than you were when you started. That's still progress. Final thoughts. Smart goals help transform vague hopes into practical plans. Whether you're trying to complete your first parkrun, break 30 minutes, achieve a new PB/PR, or reach your next milestone shirt, the SMART framework can help you stay focused and motivated. Make your goal specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. Then support it with strong weekly habits, because successful parkrunners aren't simply motivated, they're consistent. And consistency, repeated week after week, is what turns good intentions into faster Saturdays. Not sure what's stopping you from reaching your next parkrun goal? Setting a SMART goal is important. But if you've been chasing the same parkrun time for months or even years, the real challenge is often identifying what's holding you back. Is it pacing, training consistency, lack of threshold work, not enough easy training, or are you simply doing the wrong type of sessions for your current fitness? That's exactly why I created Parkrun Progress Report. Simply complete the application form and I'll personally review one of your recent parkrun results, analysing your pacing and identify the biggest opportunities for improvement. You'll receive practical feedback that you can immediately apply to your training and future parkruns. Apply for your free Parkrun Progress Report at the link in the description. Sometimes the fastest way to achieve your next goal isn't training harder. It's understanding exactly where your biggest opportunity lies. The benefits of a pre-parkrun jog. Have you ever started a parkrun and felt like your legs were still asleep? The first few hundred meters feel awkward. Your breathing is heavier than expected, and it takes nearly a kilometre before you finally settle into a rhythm. For many parkrunners, the problem isn't fitness. It's what they were doing in the 10 minutes before the start. The most common pre-parkrun mistake. Arrive at almost any parkrun and you'll see it. Runners gather near the start. They chat with friends, listen to the briefing, stand around waiting for the run to begin. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the social side of parkrun. But if you've done no movement beforehand, your body is essentially being asked to go from standing still to race pace in a matter of seconds. That's a tough transition. Why easy jogging helps. A short, easy jog before the briefing prepares your body for what's coming. It helps increase blood flow, raise muscle temperature, elevate your heart rate slightly, loosen up stiff joints, and prepare your breathing system. None of these changes are dramatic, but together they make a big difference to how the opening stages of the run feel. The goal isn't fitness. This isn't about squeezing in extra training. You're not trying to gain fitness in 10 minutes. You're simply helping your body arrive at the start line ready to run. Think of it as preparing the engine before asking it to work hard. Most runners wouldn't drive a car hard immediately after starting it on a cold morning. The same principle applies here. How long should you jog? You don't need a complicated routine. For most park runners, about 10 minutes of easy jogging is plenty. Comfortable pace, relaxed effort, no pressure. The aim is simply to get moving. What most runners notice. When runners start including a short jog before the briefing, they often report similar things. The first kilometre feels smoother. Their breathing settles earlier, their legs feel more responsive, and they find their rhythm sooner. Nothing magical has happened. They're simply starting the run more prepared. A simple experiment. Try this over the next 2 Saturdays. 1 week, arrive just before the briefing and stand around until the start. The following week, arrive 10 to 15 minutes early and include an easy jog before the briefing. Then compare how the first kilometre feels. Most runners notice the difference immediately. Bring it back to Saturday. The start of parkrun shouldn't feel like a shock to the system. A short, easy jog before the briefing can help bridge the gap between standing around and running well. It's a simple habit, it costs nothing, and it might be the easiest performance improvement you make all week. If you'd like a complete Saturday morning routine, including how to structure your jog, strides, and preparation before parkrun, download Arrive Ready, the complete parkrun warm-up guide. The link is down in the description. The most impressive part of this 18:12 wasn't the time. Jess Bray's Otago 5,000 metre championship progress report. This week's not parkrun progress report comes from Jess Bray and her performance in the Otago 5,000 metre championships, where she ran an outstanding 18:12 to claim the Otago under-20 women's title. Now on paper, 18:12 is already an impressive result, but honestly, the most impressive part wasn't the time. It was how little her pace changed across the entire 5,000 metres. When I analysed the data, I wasn't looking at an athlete hanging on for dear life. I was looking at an athlete racing, and there's a difference. Track racing is different. An 18:12 on the track is a very different challenge from an 18:12 at parkrun. There's no GPS shortcuts, no downhill sections, no chasing Strava segments, no weaving around other participants on shared pathways. Instead, there's 12 and a half laps of honest racing. Every lap counts. Every mistake gets exposed. Every pacing decision matters. And Jess handled that challenge exceptionally well. The championship context matters. Jess was the only athlete in the under-20 women's category. However, this wasn't a separate race. She was competing in an open field that included the senior women, senior men, and masters athletes. And despite being one of the youngest athletes in the field, she finished Otago under-20 women's champion and fourth female overall. That's a performance worth celebrating, especially considering she had only recently completed Challenge Wanaka, meaning her preparation included relatively little specific 5,000 metre speed work. The pacing was outstanding. Jess's kilometre splits were 3:38, 3:37, 3:38, 3:43, 3:38. The difference between her fastest and slowest kilometre, just 6 seconds. Across an 18-minute race, that's exceptional. Many athletes chasing a fast 5,000 metres open aggressively and then spend the second half trying to survive. Jess didn't. She stayed controlled early and gave herself the opportunity to compete right through to the finish. The fourth kilometre tells the story. The fourth kilometre stands out. At 3:43, it was the slowest split of the race, and that's exactly where I would expect the race to get difficult. In track racing, the hardest part is often not the first kilometre or the final kilometre. It's the kilometre immediately before the finishing moves in. The race has become uncomfortable. The finish still feels a long way away. The adrenaline hasn't arrived yet, but that's where races are won and lost. Jess absorbed that section brilliantly. The final kilometre was the most impressive. What happened next is what really caught my attention. After the slight slowdown, 3:38 for the final kilometre. That tells us she didn't crack, she didn't unravel, she didn't run out of fitness. Instead, she found another gear. This is a hallmark of a quality racer. The heart rate data. The heart rate data included a couple of obvious anomalies. 137 beats per minute, 186, 194, 195, and then 161 beats per minute. The first kilometre is almost certainly affected by heart rate lag. The final kilometre appears to contain a recording error or a sensor dropout. The important numbers are in the middle of the race. 186 beats per minute, 194, 195. These tell us Jess was operating right at race intensity. This wasn't conservative running. This was proper, hard running. The power data is beautifully controlled. Her normalized power of 315 watts for the first kilometre, 306 watts for the second, 307, 302, 301. I love this. Despite accumulating fatigue, increasing physiological stress, and championship pressure, the power barely moved. That tells me Jess was managing effort exceptionally well. She wasn't chasing pace, she wasn't racing the event, and that's exactly what successful track athletes do. The cadence data is exceptional. Cadence of 180 SPM, 184, 186, 188, and 187 SPM. This may actually be the most impressive metric of the entire race. Notice what happened as fatigue increased. Her cadence didn't fall, it rose. Most runners overstride, lose rhythm, and become less efficient. Jess did the opposite. Then, in the finishing straight, her cadence peaked at 204 SPM. That suggests there was still competitiveness, aggression, and finishing speed available when it mattered most. She never lost her rhythm. For me, that's the biggest takeaway. The pace varied slightly, the race became difficult, it accumulated, but the cadence stayed high, the power remained controlled, and she still finished aggressively. That's what good racing looks like. The key lesson, a lot of runners can run fast when they feel good. The best runners keep racing well when they're hurting. Jess demonstrated exactly that in this race. She didn't simply run 18:12, she raced 18:12, and that's a very important distinction. The overall assessment, this was a highly disciplined championship 5,000 metre performance built on excellent pacing, outstanding rhythm, and the ability to respond when the race became uncomfortable. The hallmark of a good track runner isn't how fast they start, it's how well they hold their rhythm when everything else starts hurting. And Jess did that exceptionally well. Want help improving your own park run or 5K? If you'd like help improving your pacing, race execution, and overall 5K performance, Parkrun Kickstart is designed specifically for recreational runners wanting to run smarter and faster. Join Parkrun Kickstart at the link in the description. And if you'd like your own run analysed for a future Parkrun progress report, apply at the link in the description. Ka kite anō, and all the best for your next race.